Welcome to Jerry Berry's Friend-Tastic Library, the podcast where I talk about, or what do I do on this podcast? I interview everyday average people about their, I don't remember what it is. Anyways, you're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere. So today I'm talking to Dreya. She is an astrologer amongst many, many other things. I believe you said you're a freelancer, astrology person, you're a spiritual person, and you're like super 420 friendly, so we'll probably smoke while we're doing this. But yeah, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good and I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. So do you want to smoke first, later, or both?
Both.
Okay. Tokes. We can do the tokes to the new guys. Yeah. It's 420 somewhere for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. That's how time works.
Oh yeah.
You have a very fancy dab rig too. It's so fancy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a Riggin one for Stashy products. They make all their own products in-house and 10% off code Saline.
Ooh. Shout out to Saline.
If you don't know her, you should, because 10% off is huge with any cannabis product.
I love Saline. I hope to have her on the show one day.
Yeah,
I have to reach out to her. But so that's like a good segue into how we met, because that's what we usually talk about in the beginning whenever the show goes the way I want it to. So we met at a Glowing Goddess getaway, like some of my other guests. There's a car alarm going off in the background, so that's fun. But yeah, I don't remember which one it was though that we met at. What was your first GGG?
in Ponderosa, Northern California, but I think we met like, I want to say Sonora.
Maybe it was like 2019 whenever we were at that fancy house,
right? Yeah, and it had like the pool and the spa and stuff.
Okay, I think that's because I only went to one other one before that, and I didn't think you were at that one. I went to like
Southern California.
No, I went to a Pescadero one, like a NorCal one.
No, yeah, I've always been to the Pescadero ones.
Then maybe I just don't remember you, because we're a spoiler alert, we get really high at the GGG. So
spoiler alert. It's unlimited, and like you don't think it's real until you get there.
Yeah, then you're like, wow, they're really limitless weed. It's the highest you've ever been in your whole life for like 3 days.
Right.
And now that I'm like a veteran, I love whenever new people come, because then I get to watch them get the highest they've ever been in their life, because I already know what to expect. But yeah, it's literally like it starts at registration. You get there, they hand you a clipboard and a joint, and it's like the best thing ever.
Oh my gosh, and some people come and they've never like smoked weed or dabbed in their lives.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I'm here for my first time. And we're like, you came to the right place.
Whenever I went to my first one in 2018, I was like such a baby smoker. I had a vape pen. I'm still kind of a baby smoker, but yeah, I couldn't hang. I slept a lot because I was just getting way too high.
Yeah, and that's allowed.
Yeah, it's like way cool and way encouraged, because you're gonna save space.
Yes.
But I'm so excited to talk about stars, so I'm just gonna get right into it, because I love astrology. If I had to pick like a spiritual path to follow, it is astrology, not like it would be, it is astrology. But yeah, like right. I'm all for it. So how did you get into astrology? That's what I want to know.
Oh man, that's a good awful story that has a happy ending though.
Okay, cool. I love those.
I don't know why it always takes a crisis. I'm still trying to figure that one out. So if you figure it out, please let me know. But I mean, so yeah, I was like in a lot of grief like during that time. My dad just suddenly passed away in a traumatic event. I lost my job because I took too much time off to grieve. And I left a relationship to go live back with my mom to take care of her. And so like all of this was happening. And my my inner self was just like, Andrea, you have to do something for yourself. This shit's just crazy. And so I went to my favorite beach. It's called Dillon's Beach in California. It's like a dog heaven. It's a dog friendly beach. And I don't know. I brought my dog and I microdosed on some shrooms, and I was just like meditating and like taking in the sunshine and the ocean breeze. And yeah, when I was meditating, this like voice came into my head, like distinctively, and it asked me, like, what are you scared of? And I said, everything I'm scared of has already happened. And the voice immediately said, okay, then you're fearless. And I was like, oh, okay, shit, bitch.
Wow.
And then the voice was like, what do you believe in? Tell me what you believe in. And I was like, well, I believe in myself and I believe in the universe. And then the voice said, tell me about the universe. And like, I fucking sat there and I thought about it. And I was like, law of attraction. I don't know what else there is to say about that.
Yeah.
And that really just like got me going. And I went home that night and I just like was studying astronomy, like different planets. And then I got into astrology, which like is the spiritual meaning of these energetic bodies. And yeah, we had a GoFundMe account for my dad's funeral, and there was money left over. And so I got like $900 from it. And I put that money towards my first astrologer certificate with Deborah Silverman. And I've never looked back since.
That is super sad, but super amazing.
Yeah, astrology was a huge part of my healing process.
I feel like mine isn't as tragic, but I definitely found it through grieving in high school with everything that went on in my life at the time. And I was getting severely depressed and whatnot. And I had a teacher at the school give me a book on astrology because she was like, oh, I feel like you're such a classic Pisces, Jerri. I've always thought that about you. I think you need to read this book. And so I believe it was, if I can remember correctly, it was just a book about Pisces, the end. So just like my sun sign. And then I've always like dabbled. And then like 4 years ago, whenever again, it was like grieving. My husband's dad had died. And so I was like rediving into astrology to like get through it. And then I discovered my moon sign, and that it like blew my mind. Whenever I read my moon sign, I was like, what?
Which is what, Jerri?
My moon sign is Aries.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then from there it was just endless. I bought like an ebook and was like taking notes and studying it like a college student. I mean, I was a college student, but not for astrology.
Right.
And then I found cafe astrology and was like reading my birth chart. And then my husband was like, oh, you hokey pokey bitch, whatever. He loves me, but he's like, okay, Jerry's on another phase, right?
Yeah.
And then the one night I asked him all of his info and I read him his shit from cafe astrology, and he was like, whoa, you're like reading my mind right now, babe.
Yes.
So now he's like pretty much a believer. I wouldn't want to stamp him with a spirituality that doesn't claim, but I feel like he's pretty into it now.
That's awesome. What's his moon sign?
He is a Sagittarius Gemini.
Oh wow, that's awesome for you.
Yeah,
obviously.
We've read like our couples thing on cafe astrology, and it all says good things. And then I have apps like the pattern app, and it says
that's a fun one.
It says good things about us, so that's exciting.
That's cool. I also like Time Passages.
What is that?
That's a reliable one.
Oh, a different app? I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. Time Passages. But if anyone has CoStar, they have to delete it now, unfortunately.
Well, if they have what?
The app called CoStar.
Oh, we have to delete that? I have that one.
Oh, well, okay, let me give you this information. You can decide for yourself.
Okay.
The founder of CoStar openly came out and said that she likes to troll people on purpose and make them fear their insecurities on purpose because she thinks that's the best way to get over them.
Oh.
And what do you think?
I'm sad. I mean, I guess negative reinforcement works technically, but it's not cool.
And like when you think about it too, because I had that before that podcast came out. It's on a podcast. And like it is true, like you get those notifications like randomly, like usually when you're already in a bad mood, I want to say. And you're like, okay, co-star, god dang, dude.
I feel like you don't have to troll people on purpose. That's so mean.
No, and that's not what astrology is about. Astrology is about observing yourself through a lens that is full of truth, and like the biggest gift astrology can give us is awareness, and the only way we can accept that is through love. And like, what's love? Acceptance and no judgment and being grateful.
Yep. I remember I follow her on Instagram. I want to say her name's like Astro D, and she has a YouTube channel, and she's like black and bald and beautiful. And it was before the GGG. That was like the person that I would like look to Instagram for. Now I just look at your stuff because your stories are always really good. But on one of her YouTube videos, she was talking about how the universe creates like a combination that is solely yours whenever you're born. So like the second that you're born, all those planets are in an order to unlock that life. And I was like, oh my god, she's blowing my mind right now. And I just love it. I love everything about it.
I know, right? Yeah, it's a soul contract.
For sure.
And like when you have a reading, really a reading is like a huge act of radical self-love, because you're unlocking all these layers of yourself, and some layers like you have suppressed because of society, because of your family, because of whatever. And so when astrology says like oh Jerri, you're supposed to think outside of the box, but also you're really good at nurturing. Like you're like, what? I am really good at nurturing. I thought that was weird. I'm gonna keep being good at that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think one of the only things I remembered from our reading at one of the GGGs, because we were super high, was that you said I should have 15 kids. And I was like, oh Lord help me, I can't have 15 kids. Right. But then I don't know if like you broke it down for me, if somebody else broke it down for me, but they're like, no Jerri, you just parent people. Like you find broken people and then you like parent them and take care of them. And I was like, oh, I guess I do have a lot of kids then.
Right. Because that comes easy for you, but really like you are like the entrepreneur, compassionate, hybrid leader, you know?
Oh, well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I read about my astrology signs and planets and whatnot, it's like a pep talk too. It always makes me feel good about myself. I don't know if everybody has that, but
I hope everyone has that.
I hope so too. I feel like unless you're getting trolled by that mean lady of CoStar, I guess.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's not the culture we're trying to promote.
That's like the same shit that the newspapers do, dude.
Right. We don't want that.
But aren't you're like I don't know what an astrology term would be for it, but you have like an awesome birth chart, right? Aren't you like a triple Pisces?
Yeah.
Because I loved whenever you did like celebrity natal, like birth natal charts, and then you were doing yours, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I mean, I don't, it sounds like a triple Pisces would be like a little rough sometimes with emotions, but because I'm just like one Pisces and I have a lot of emotions, so I can't imagine three. But yeah.
Right, dude. Yeah, and I mean, I'm allowed to say whatever I want, but I'm allowed to say that Pisces is like a really complicated sign, you know? Like we get confused on like what is real and what is reality, like what is fantasy and what is reality, and then we forget about our wants and needs and like who we are. And so yeah, grounding practices is a must.
Yeah, I feel like I attract a lot of Pisces because I feel like we understand each other since we're so complicated.
Right.
And I have a lot of Pisces in my family. It's mostly Aquarius and Pisces. So
Okay, that makes
yeah,
sense. Because
I don't know if it's from childhood trauma or if it's like the stars and how they talk to each other, but I can't hang with a lot of Aquariuses, especially men that are Aquariuses.
oh, totally.
I don't
And
know. I never knew if that was like a Pisces Aquarius thing or if it was just me because like all the dudes in my family are Aquariuses and I'm kind of over them.
well, it's kind of just you because you have 3 planets in Aquarius, and one of them being Saturn, the planet that represents life lessons. So
Oh,
like
okay.
you have a lot of like Aquarius traits, like understanding the impact you have like with when it comes to the collective, like always thinking about like the morals and values and how you're affecting like the world and how you can like better take care of the world and the society that it comes with. And also just like doing your research and like having the facts to share the knowledge so people can also be better.
I
And
love
so
that.
like that's you, dude. And so like when you meet another Aquarius, like and like sometimes Aquarius is like have that I know mentality, and you're like, no dude, I know too, let's discuss this. And they're like, no, but you don't know, only I know. And you're like, no, let's just have a conversation.
The struggle is real, dude.
No, but I was gonna ask you, like you are in your Saturn return right now, do you know what that is?
I thought Saturn return happened at 27. Is that something else?
Saturn return can happen around like 27 to 31,
Oh, okay.
but it
Okay.
lasts 3 years.
Oh, so it's like from now until I'm 33?
No, you've been in it. Yeah, you've
Oh,
been in it.
okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
when
how
did
is that going?
do you know when it started? That would be really intriguing.
Okay, let me see.
I feel like 27 was a big number for me, and I don't
It's
know why.
it's it started um at the end of 2018, like the
Okay.
very end.
Yeah, so I got married in 2017. And
Okay.
then, yeah, that makes total sense because in 2018, that's whenever I went to my first GGG. I started therapy in 2019.
Okay.
I've done nothing. So, yeah, I've done nothing but grow since 2018. I'm like a whole different person since
Yeah,
I got
that's a
married.
Saturn return.
But yeah, like even now, I just joined Noemi's NARM program, her natural anxiety relief
Nice.
method, because I'm still like trying to figure shit out. Yeah, I have that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, she sent me like all the things. I'm absolutely loving it. But yeah, and I'm really excited for 30. We're going to Vegas for my dirty 30. Yeah,
Oh
I'm kind of happy to say bye to my 20s. Some rough
yeah.
stuff
Right.
happened back there.
Right.
I'm ready to say bye. I did not know Saturn return was like 3 years long. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's so like to summarize the Saturn return, you're meeting your crone, which is like your elder, wiser self. And so like the way you just explained it was perfect.
I love that. And it makes sense because I feel like women, once they hit 30, that's like their stride.
Right.
They say you peak in high school-ish, but I think 30 is
No.
whenever I'm peaking for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I hated when people were like, yeah, high school's your golden years. And I'm like, what? They were terrible.
It's all your brain doesn't work, your hormones don't work, like
You don't
it's
know
all
what you
bad.
want.
No, it's all bad. You care
Yeah.
so much about what other people think all the time,
Yeah.
like all the time. That's all
Yeah.
you think about.
No, that's not good.
Nope. 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 Um,
Yeah.
what is your, can I ask what your spouse's signs are? Like, are you guys super duper, is he a Pisces too?
No, he's actually an Aries sun, Libra rising, Libra moon.
Interesting. I don't know very many
Yes.
Libras. I guess I don't attract them.
Yeah. And so like the reason why we're compatible is because the Libra side of him is very sensitive, very feminine, and he doesn't mind showing those layers. But then he has that Aries aspect where it's like, hey,
It's
like yeah, I'm in charge and I'm large type of thing. So he is like both, you know?
yeah.
And so like for the Pisces and me, I really need like that emotional support. And
Yeah.
so, you know, both
Yeah.
worlds. And also his Venus is in Taurus and my moon is in Taurus.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
so Yeah, so that's a good, so yeah, it's the whole, the whole entire chart you have to put into consideration, you know?
Yes, for sure. Because well, that's my big pet peeve, and I don't know if that's true with you. I totally try to spread love and light and not judge all people, but it's hard. We're all human. So whenever people are like, "Oh no, astrology is a bunch of hokey pokey," I don't think I'm a Leo at all. And I'm like, well, yeah, because there's like a million other things in the universe. It's not
Right.
just all about the sun.
Yeah, you could be a Leo, but then you could be a Leo sun with an opposition to Saturn, then you're definitely not the typical Leo. Like you're more responsible than other Leos.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were the one that explained it. You probably were the one that explained this at a GGG, where you were saying like, if you were to paint a person, the sun sign is just like the blob of color that is them, and then their moon sign is like you get deeper and you get some more detail, and then with like the rising you get even more, and then it's like that with everything after that.
Yeah.
And I loved that because I think it's so true.
So many layers.
Yeah, and you just keep adding them as time goes on too. So
Right.
and
Yeah.
like the second that you showed us John Lennon's birth natal chart, it like blew my mind. I was like, this is amazing.
Dude, because he's like all Libra.
Yeah.
And his songs are like all about harmony and balance and relationships.
Yeah. I love it. And now like I tend to look at celebrity birth natal charts all the time. I was just looking at Dave Grohl's birth natal chart today because he's the Foo Fighters are playing an Aftershock, and he was like on an episode of Hot Ones, which is a YouTube show. And I was like, I need to know what this guy's sign is because I'm obsessed with him right now. And
Oh
I don't even remember what his sign. He's a Capricorn. He's like a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising. I can't remember what his moon is.
Dang.
Or maybe it was Capricorn sun and moon, and then I don't know what the third one was. Either way, 2 Capricorns.
Right. I mean, just with that information alone, his needs and wants are the same, which makes it easy to prioritize to the next goal.
Yeah, that must be nice because mine are never like that.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like my sun and moon are horrible, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, because I just like now I just impulse buy on emotion, like a lot of emotion, and it's like the worst thing ever. And I change my mind and I go through hobbies like I'm going through underwear, and yeah, this one's probably lasted the longest as far as hobbies go consistently.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I think it's because like the podcast is really stimulating your Gemini rising, like talking, expressing, and like, yes, the Pisces sun and Aries moon. I mean, I'm sure you hurt your own feelings here and there, but I'm sure you've learned how to take care of your moon, because when you hurt your own feelings, that's just your moon saying, hey, you're not like creating space for me to feel these really, really intense emotions. Please do so soon, Oh,
I like that. Yeah. But I do love to talk. I do love to talk a lot. That's why I started doing this. But all other hobbies, and I was worried that I wouldn't be consistent with this, but my husband's like my biggest supporter, and he was like, who cares if you're not consistent? It's like it just goes on the internet and then it's gone. Bye. It's fine. Right. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. But yeah, I go through like waves of knitting and crocheting, or like I can't even think of other. I remember I had a time of World of Warcraft and Magic the Gathering. Nice. I had a hobby of tennis for a while. It's just like random shit, dude. And I have to go all in every time, which is very financially unstable. But this is a hobby that is like,
out.
Yeah, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. Thank you.
I mean, whatever, man. Like jack of all trades, it has the benefits of understanding the knowledge on why it had to happen when it happened. And now you can like share tricks and tips with everyone. Like, I think this is a gift. This is a gift.
Yeah, I guess. They say Pisces is like a little bit of every sign, and I have like all these weird ass hobbies that I collect. So I can pretty much get along with anybody. I don't know if that's true for all Pisces, but I feel like I can get along with anybody to an extent. I mean, you have to say some really fucked up shit for me to not want to be near you. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's definitely a Pisces trait, being very adaptable, but also understanding and learning how to release that person's energy later instead of like masking it to your own.
Yes. I'm learning to do that now with EFT tapping. I'm tapping like a lot. I'm worried I'm going to bruise myself if I tap much more.
Oh my gosh, I love this motivation.
But yeah, like it's like necessary. That was the whole reason I joined Noemi's NARM program, was because I did tapping like one time on one of our Discord sessions. I was like, I'm addicted now. I need to do it all the time.
Wow, that's amazing.
But yeah. Are there any, let me think about how to phrase my question because I'm getting high. It's like kicking in. Are there any really awesome, interesting, or cliche celebrity, famous people, influencer birth charts out there?
Okay, so I was really, well, I still am obsessed with Amanda Gordon, the Black goddess who did the inauguration speech for Biden.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. After that speech, I forgot what the poem was called. It has something, it's like hills. I don't know. But anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to look at this goddess's chart because, she's all poets are fun to look at. So yeah, I was like, she's got to have some Pisces, and she does, dude. She has a lot of Pisces. Her Mercury is in Pisces, and when your Mercury, the planet of the mind and communication, is in Pisces, you talk in picture.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and she has that, and I was like, I love when stuff happens like that.
I love that too. That's like blowing my mind right now.
Yeah.
Are there certain, this brings me to another question. I never write anything down anymore. I just go off the top of my head. So sorry, it's like random. So that brings me to another question. Are there certain signs that are correlated with not having an inner voice? I just learned that some people don't hear a voice in their head. Is that like, are there signs that are lucky enough to not have that voice going on in there?
Yeah, so I think that's a combination of a couple things. And I would, yeah, I think that's like, yeah, I feel like that's a fire sign, or like a fire and fixed sign. Fixed signs are Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo. Is that it? I'm missing one. Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus.
I don't know all the fixed signs. I think
fixed
Pisces
signs
is the mutable. Are we mutable?
Yes, yeah. That's correct. Fixed signs just mean that like when they have a vision, that like they get it, they have to do it that way, or they can't do it at all. And then like I said fire because that like that's the same way. Like in order to do something, like you can't, it's impulsive. Like you just have to do it. You can't think about it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when it comes to like, this is like a generalized answer though. Like again, it really comes down to your whole entire chart and really your Mercury and your third house and like all this stuff. So this is just like, a theory. But yeah, I mean like get it done now. Don't think about it. Like you can see it, you can see the picture, and then you just go for it.
That's awesome. I love that. I heard Scorpio, and I can't help but remember you saying that Scorpios are the best in bed. Is that like, oh no, why does it say that I have to upgrade my Zoom? I'm so sad. It's gonna end us. Okay. If it ends, I think I can just start a new one and then I'll mush them together. But yeah, so I was wondering, have you had experience with Scorpios in bed?
Oh my god, yeah. Have you?
One. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just one. It was my high school boyfriend. Spoiler alert. He's on an episode. Episode 3 for the listeners that are curious.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I feel like I missed out though, because high school isn't the same.
Right.
That's not real. We didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
Now I'm like, damn.
Right. So like I say that because when Scorpios are in lust or love, whichever one you want to go with, like they're able to go like they have sex to where like you feel like they own you. They like own their own body, and they have to feel like connected. They have to feel like they have like a piece of you. And so like I think me just explaining that sets the tone for what the bedroom withholds.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love that. Okay. Very interesting. I feel like my husband's the best one I've ever had, but he's not a Scorpio. He's a Sagittarius. So I don't know. Maybe he has some Scorpio sprinkled in there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know of.
I mean, Sagittarius are fun too. They like to try new things. So.
Oh, yeah, they're very adventurous. So. But yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah, it's definitely the funnest for sure. Because it's like, I feel like penis penetration is just so boring anymore.
Oh,
it's
so boring.
It's so 1999. Like nobody needs to do that anymore. There's so many things to do. So
I
luckily
so
he's into it. And he's like what you were saying, I don't think he has any Libra in there. He might have Libra, but he's totally cool with the feminine side as well. That's why I love him, because I can't handle masculine men. They turn me off so bad.
So hard.
So bad. No offense to masculine men. I can be your friend, but I want nothing to do with you sexually. It just totally turns me off.
Yeah. If you're single, look in the mirror, please.
I love that. But yeah, are there any other awesome traits with like other signs? So like Scorpios are really good in bed. I feel like Aquariuses just suffocate everybody, but that's my own biases. Are there other like are there other cliches with other signs like that?
Yeah, I think like Cancers and Tauruses have food in common. Like their comfort is food. But to tell the difference, like Taurus is like bougie. Like Taurus will take you out to a steak dinner, and Cancer will take you to their grandma's house for their famous casserole. So like that's the difference when it comes to Taurus and Cancer with food, you know?
I love that. That's awesome. I feel like I would prefer the Cancer over the Taurus.
Right. Everyone has a preference.
Yeah, I think so. Cancers are like feelers too, right? They have big feelings. I remember meeting a Cancer at one of the GGGs, and she cried a lot, and I was like, I'm here for it. I love that.
Right, but let's say that all like she cried with every emotion there was. Happiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of happiness.
Yeah, exactly. She did not seem like a sad person, but she was definitely a crier, and I was like, I love that you are who you are right now. I love that whenever it fits so nicely. And it's funny too that like the GGG is full of I feel like it's full of Aquariuses and Pisces. But I always feel like that's the majority, because you sort us like Harry Potter. You're like, okay, here's all your things, go get with your people.
Yeah.
It'd be like there's never
that.
There's never any Libras. I don't think I've seen a single Libra at the GGG.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you this one story. Okay, so that is my workshop is different every getaway, but the most favorite thing I do that I can't take away is I put everyone into groups within their sun sign, because it's like such a perfect icebreaker too. And like I give you some like key topics to talk about if you can't find anything to talk about, but usually like people just keep going in like conversation, and they like find things in common, and they're freaking out, and it's so fun. And one time, I was like printing out the papers, and for some reason Virgo was last, and I ran out of ink, and so the Virgo one didn't print, and I was like, it's okay, there's literally never Virgos here ever. And I get to like my workshop, like under the tent, and there's this one lady.
Yep, I know exactly who you're talking about.
And I had to tell her, I was like, oh my gosh, my printer ran out when I got to Virgo. Like, here's my phone. These are the notes. And then I felt so bad. And she's like, is it because Virgos never come to stuff like this? And I didn't have the heart to tell her yes. I was like, no, just my printer ran on ink. That's it.
Yeah, it's like I literally know who you're talking about, and I only remember like her so vividly because my son's a Virgo, and I didn't know anything about them until he was born. So but yeah, my kids are a Virgo and a Leo, but I don't really look into their chart. I feel like it's bad juju to look into the future. I don't know. I don't want to impose like stereotypes on them based off of me reading their chart. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
no, it totally makes sense. When I get asked to read, because sometimes mothers come to me and they say, I want a better relationship with my child. Can you please read our charts? I have to go about it a totally different way, because I have to make sure that I'm not putting any expectations on this child. I'm just helping the mother understand like where they're coming from when it comes to like how they express their emotions, like how can you get them back into their comfort zone, you know, like what makes them comfortable, like what is their love language. Like I gotta stick to those traits instead of like, oh, this is gonna happen and that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel that. I don't even know their moon or their rising signs, and that's usually like the 3 easy ones you can get real quick.
Right. A lot of astrologers who have kids don't look at their child's chart until they're teens because they want to do the same thing. Yeah.
I feel validated now. I thought I was like a weirdo. No. But it's like you can learn somebody's love language from their like birth chart, I feel like. And I think that's why me and my husband get along so well, because our love languages are pretty much the same.
Right.
But it's weird because we're like opposites. So, but they say opposites attract, right? Because Sagittarius is fire. Yeah. But I think is Sagittarius the mutable fire sign? It's not fixed, is it?
No. Yeah, you're right. It's mutable.
Okay. I get those confused all the time. I was going to try to upgrade my Zoom to Pro, but it looks like it's going to take a really long time. And I'm like not in the headspace for that. But so this will end up ending. And then we'll just jump back on. But yeah, it's gonna end in like 2 minutes, but
that's okay. We only have like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have to put my damn kids to bed. Forgot about those things. We were just talking about them.
That's a lot.
Do you and the husband plan on having kids? I shouldn't have said husband. I don't know why I assumed you're married. Do you and your partner having kids?
It's fine. It's fine. We've been together for 6 years, so it counts. Okay, so Clayton has kids with another girlfriend. So I'm a bonus mom. I'm a stepmom.
That's awesome.
And we believe in co-parenting and going on trips together, and we have a good time with each other. And yeah, the kids are the happiest when we're all doing things together, you know?
That's super awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. My favorite picture is Elliot holding Clayton's hand and his stepdad's hand crossing the road, and he has like the biggest smile on his face. And that just like sums up all of our relations.
I love that so much, because you could easily be the cliche like hippie stepmom that the other mom is like, ugh.
Totally, dude. And like, I mean, not to say it's not hard. We have our challenges. Like I have to like emotionally detach sometimes because like they agree upon something that I don't like agree upon, but it's, you know, I'm like I said, I'm the support mom. I'm the bonus mom. Like I just like take that energy back to myself, and the kids know that I'm the weird one and they can come to me with the weird questions. Like I love that. Like they're getting like, because Elliot's 10 and Emma's 8, and so they're like starting to have this like awareness, not just like of themselves, but like this world. And they come to me with like the weird questions. Like the other day, Elliot's like, you know that tea that's like at cemetery sometimes? And I was like,
they're recording again, but so we'll just pretend nothing ever happened. Just kidding. Okay. They'll definitely know something happened, but I need to know, he asked you about a tea at cemeteries.
Yeah, and he was like, you know that tea that's at cemeteries? And I was like, there's a tea at cemeteries? Okay, keep going. And he's like, it's gold sometimes, or it's black sometimes. And I was like, it's a cross. And then
I was thinking like a T this whole time.
Yeah, me too. It took me a while. And then he's like, yeah, what is that? And I was like, oh, this is a perfect question, buddy. Thank you for questioning this. And I was like, well, it's a spiritual artifact. But there's many spiritual artifacts. There's many like religious symbols that are all around us all the time, and that's just one of them. And then we were in the car, and I have like this crystal triangle in my car, and he's like, is that a spiritual tool? And I was like, yes. And then
You're getting it.
yeah, and then like I have feathers in my car too, and he's like, is that a spiritual tool? And I was like, yes. Like,
Yeah.
and then the whole, like throughout the whole day, he was just like pointing things out, and I was like, yes, and then explaining like their purpose, their meaning. It was such like, I mean, I'm so glad I can be that outlet.
Definitely. And I love that like you talk to him about it, especially as like I feel like parents are so uncomfortable talking to kids about shit, and it's so simple and like they're so easy to talk to. I feel like it's not as big of a deal as people think it is. Like a lot of parents dread the like how are babies made question. And while I was pregnant with my second, because they're 6 years apart, whenever I was pregnant with the second one, Jared was like, mommy, if the baby's in your belly, that means you have to swallow her. Does that mean you're gonna poop her out? Right? Which that happens a lot for kids. That's always their like go-to. They're like, it must come out somewhere. So I was like, oh no, because like women, she's not in my belly. Humans have uteruses. So she's like in my uterus, which is a whole nother organ that just like grows babies. And then it's gonna come out of my vagina. And by the time I got to vagina, he was like barely even listening. He was like, I don't care anymore. This is boring and dumb. She's not pooping it out. I don't care. Like,
right.
like it was the simplest thing, and it wasn't hard or like uncomfortable. It didn't scar him for life. Like
no, yeah, and like I mean, the truth always wins, really. And like when you explain it to them normally, like they have the correct answer. They don't like have this fairy tale answer. Like they're knowledgeable on what's happening, and therefore it is not weird.
Yeah, exactly. And like we've already had conversations about like gay people and like religion comes up a lot because my husband's family's Catholic, so he'll say like, oh well, do you believe, or like, I forget what he asked, the one, it was like either do you believe in heaven and hell or something like that, and I was like, oh, some people do. I don't think it's a thing, but you can think it's a thing if you want. Like Grandma Libby does, it's cool. Another one was like, we don't really freak out about swearing, so some people think we're bad parents, but I don't make a deal out of it. If he's like if he's like, man, it's fucking cold out there, I'm like, it is, bro, you're right, but you can't say that at school, right? Like, and then he's like, oh, okay, cool. Or like, god damn it, like god damn it doesn't bother me. But in like the area we live that are very like Christianity religious, it's like very offensive. So we had to be like, well, you can't say that at school, dude, you shouldn't say that in public because it'll offend some people. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's like
I'm the same way with Ellie and Emma. Like Elliot was helping me with something. It was like the window was stuck, and we were like trying to get it unstuck, and he was like, fuck, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I mean, you said it in the right context, it's fine.
Yeah, same. That's how I feel. Like like, but you know, just don't say that. Those are home words. Don't say them at school. Like, don't say them at the park, because then other parents are going to be coming at me, and I don't have time for that shit. Like, I just don't have time for it. But yeah, and like something came up about different sexualities, because my last episode was with a gay math professor, and then we started talking about what all the letters mean, LGBTQIA plus, and like all the other different sexualities that exist at the dinner table. And then my son's like, can we talk about something that's kid friendly? And I was like, this is kid friendly, like there's nothing bad about it. And he was like, I just feel like it's not kid friendly. But we were like, if it's boring you, I'm sorry, but it is definitely like appropriate for children. It's okay to talk about those words. And he's like, oh, okay, it is kind of boring though. So we were like, okay. Yeah, it's weird that like it's weird that society puts that stuff on them like so young. It's so weird.
I was just going to say that how important it is to have dinner table talks like that, because like the reason he has that idea is from school or from the playground or for someone else's parents. And so like for you to bring that in, like he's not just like learning in other outlets, but he's like learning the example from you, and that's where you really want him to learn from.
Yep, pretty much. I do have, so I always have these random questions that I ask at the end of the show that have absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. And now I'm super intrigued because so like one of the questions is like, what I was going to say Harry Potter, what Winnie the Pooh character do you identify with? And now I'm wondering, are there correlations between like astrology signs and Winnie the Pooh characters? Like,
oh my gosh. Okay, well, the first like when you said that, the first character that came into my mind was Pinky.
The little pig.
Yeah.
I always go with Eeyore. I'm always going with Eeyore
Right?
forever. I have an Eeyore
I was
tattoo.
that's so funny that you bring it up, because for some reason, like, I was just talking about Eeyore with someone else. You're not Eeyore, what the fuck?
I feel like I'm just always like, I feel like
A
I'm the inner
bougie Eeyore.
I'm like the inner sad. My mom said that I was a Tigger, and I was like, I think I'm a Tigger to everybody else, but to me it's definitely an Eeyore. Like inner voice
Right.
Jerri is an Eeyore for sure.
Right, and that's so true. Oh my gosh, because like when I thought of like the little pig, you know, she's like a little shy and like, you know, like, oh, are you sure we should do that? Like, that's me inside. But then my Leo's rising is like, fuck that, like, you're Tigger too. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Spice Girl? Or because I don't know anything about the Spice Girls, but somebody asked it once and now I just have to keep asking it.
Oh crap, I can't see them in my mind. I can only see colors of them. I like the yellow one because my favorite color is yellow.
That's so weird. I hate yellow. It's my least favorite color. It's my least, like, I hate it. I always want to wear yellow things and I buy it and then I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. I'm never gonna wear it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can never find like the yellow I want. It's always like a gold, and I'm like, this works.
My favorite colors, I guess I like all colors besides yellow, but I really like purple. But
yeah. That's good.
Literally the only thing I know about Spice Girls is there's a Jerri something or other. I don't know her last name, but my first name's Jerri, so I know that she's a Spice Girl. And I think somebody was saying that she's Scary Spice. I think that was her Spice Girl name. Anyways, I know that Mel B's a Spice Girl because she was on America's Got Talent.
I feel like I need to memorize these now. I feel like I'm letting down the 90s.
It's okay. Most people don't really know them, or they'll say the same thing you did. They're like, oh, I don't know any of their names, but there was the one with like the hair, and they'll like start describing it.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have a favorite spice that you use a lot?
I mean, should I just be basic and say that I like put pepper on everything? Like, skip the salt, just go straight to the pepper.
Oh my god, so that's not basic because everyone says cinnamon. You might be the first person to ever say pepper.
What? It's a staple.
I think someone said cayenne pepper once, but I am also that way. I used to be a salt fiend, and then as I've gotten older, I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't even want to taste the food yet. I need to pepper it first. Whatever's in it, it needs black pepper, I'm sure.
Yeah. And like my second one is turmeric, but fuck, it just stains everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good for you and it tastes so good, but God forbid, like, good luck cutting boards, like,
Well, at least it dyes it yellowish, right? It's like a gold.
Yeah, but then it makes you think it's not clean though.
That's very true. I'm trying to think of all the other ones now. I usually write them down and then I was like, no, I got it. I remember them by now. But then we smoked before we started and now it's a whole thing. But the Winnie the Pooh one, I want to know like what other signs are now. Did you watch the new like Disney movie Encanto?
Yeah, I have.
Do you have an Encanto character that you really vibe with? That's like a new thing too that everybody wants to know.
Right. I think the main character, because like at first I was like, this movie is kind of fucked up, like just
it is, dude.
and you know, like she's trying to she's perfectly fine like with her in her being, but it's everyone else that's insecure within their being. And so like she's trying to figure out like why are these people insecure when they're really like perfect. And so
yeah,
I
love that. My favorite song is The Flower Girl. What's her name?
Yes. When
It's
she discovers that she can do cactuses.
yeah, it's Isabella. So that one's my favorite simply because and this totally fits with my Saturn rising because I'm just like doing a bunch of stuff all the time. I'm like, what else can I do? I can make a Christmas album. I can make a podcast. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, that's always my favorite song. I mean, we don't talk about Bruno is probably like the best song ever written, but the one that Isabella sings is like hands down my go-to song. I'm obsessed with it.
Totally.
Have
That's
you
awesome.
seen, oh, another one that comes up a lot is, have you seen Eurovision with Will Ferrell on Netflix?
No.
It's so good. I just discovered it, and apparently I was the last one to discover it. Well, besides you, of course.
Wait, I need something to watch. Eurovision?
Yeah, it's called Eurovision, the story of Fire Saga or something like that on Netflix. It's with Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. And the
Okay.
music in it is so fucking good. Like it's just a great movie. We put it on a lot, and like my baby likes the music in it too, so it's kind of like a win-win. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other random questions. Do you have random questions for me?
Oh my gosh, I wish I had some prepared. Let me
No,
think.
it's okay. I just figured if you were looking at my birth chart and you had burning questions about my personal life, you could ask.
Oh, well, then yes. Okay, well, well, tell me something you love about yourself.
I love my hair and my nails.
Yeah,
I take good care of them.
yeah, you do. You do a good job at that.
Thank you. That's where most of my money goes. It's like right here.
At least you know what your priorities are, you know?
Yeah, I
That's really
guess.
hard for others.
What's that?
That's really hard for others.
Yeah, I guess so. I can't think of I'm trying to think of like a better thing to love about myself. I don't know. I think I'm really funny.
Yeah.
Which is very vain. But I always
No.
think I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do oh, I was gonna, now that you're talking about it, I was gonna ask you
Yeah.
if there's anything in my chart about my my need for my own space. I feel like people always talk about how nurturing I am, and I'm like, yeah, I am, but at the same time, like, stop touching me, and I just
Yeah.
need a second to not be near anybody right now. If you
Yeah.
could all just leave,
Okay.
that'd be great.
So that's perfect because that's your moon. That's
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's how you take care and love yourself, is giving yourself space. And if you
Okay.
don't, then you blow the fuck up.
Yeah, that makes total sense now. Because
Yeah.
like I get excited when my husband has stuff planned where he's gonna go to a concert with his friends and be gone for a whole night, and I'm like, I have the bed to myself, I have the TV to myself, like I'm planning, I'm gonna do a whole thing. Like,
Yes.
and I look forward to it. I'm like, I love you, but bye, like get out of the house. And I like high kick.
Yes.
And I'm totally not a
understand that.
hugger, and like everybody I know, especially since I know a lot of Pisces, they like really want to hug all the time. And it's not that I hate hugs, it's not that they like gross me out, it's just I don't feel like I need to hug people to show my love.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more like a social thing, like that
Mm-hmm.
you have to like say hi to somebody if they say hi back to you, like you have to hug somebody if they want to hug you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that always trips people out a lot and offends like a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. So that's because you're a Gemini rising, and your rising sign, like, is your like physical attributes.
Okay.
I can't talk. And so like a Gemini rising is like, yeah, is a social like hugger, like I want to get to know you, I want to get to know you right now, like, yeah. So like you come off of that as that, like, approachable, but then like your Aries moon is like, we don't need physical touch, and your Pisces is like, yeah, we really don't need that, because then I'll really forget who I am, and you're gonna take my energy and give me some of your energy, and I don't have space for that energy. And then also your Venus is in Aquarius, and so when your Venus is in an Aquarius, you need like stimulation, but not just like mentally, like when it comes to like emotionally as well. And when I say that, I mean like when someone helps you grow, and like, yeah, when someone helps you grow to understand like the feelings that you're feeling, like, because sometimes it's hard for you to identify like what you're feeling, like to put labels on what you're feeling, because we need to do that in order to release them. But if we can't even label what we're feeling, we can't even release them. So does your partner help you do that?
Oh no. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess kind of. But I was just gonna say that I was doing my NARM meeting with Noemi, and that same thing happened. She was like, "Okay, what do you call this feeling?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what I call that feeling. Is stress a feeling?" Like,
Yeah.
and like I'm constantly trying to find words for it. But yeah, I
Right.
don't think my well, yeah, well, Chris is wonderful. I don't think he really helps me put words to it, but anytime I word vomit to him about my emotions, he's just like, "It's okay, babe. It's totally
Yeah.
fine. It totally
Yeah.
makes sense that you feel that way. It's all good. But
Yeah.
just remember, tomorrow's a new day. We're gonna be okay." So he's like that
Yeah.
guy. He's so fucking zen.
And that's perfect too, because like when your Venus is an Aquarius, like Aquarius has like it's called compassion, like detached compassion or compassion detachment, and that means like they're able to like see what's happening and like understand what's happening, but not like embody what's happening. Like they're able to release it. And so for him to say like it's okay for you to feel that way, tomorrow's a new day, like he's really being the example of like the reminder that you need in that moment, like when it's like it's okay, it's going to be a new day, like you're able to release it.
That's awesome. Maybe that's why we get along so well. Because once I
Yeah.
learned that I don't have to like be embarrassed or shy around him, and I can just like say anything that comes to mind, then it was like our whole world opened up. Because then he realized like what really goes on in here. He's like, "It's all bad news bears up there, Jerri. Let me help you out."
And you're really good at like word vomiting, so for him to accept that, like hell yeah.
We're like the people from Up where like the guy never talks and the girl just talks all the time. That's us. Like we literally lay in bed and I'm just like talking about every single thing that happened in my whole day, and he's just sitting there listening and being like
Oh
the
my
best.
god, I love it.
But oh, it's already 7. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that oh, these damn kids, damn
Yeah,
kids. I love them, but they're the worst.
I get it.
But they're the best. So, is there anything you want to shout out to the world before we end our meeting?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on your podcast. It was so much fun reconnecting with you. I'm always here for you
Oh,
with
thank
any
you.
astrological questions. I have a journal coming out April 1st for Aries season. Aries season marks the astrological new year.
Yeah.
And so the journal is called Honor, and it helps you honor yourself while honoring the moon. And so you can align your cosmic being and your earthly being for your well-being with the moon cycles. So that's coming out soon. And yeah, I always got like a lot of stuff going on. So
All the
at
links will be in the
Drey.vibes.
description. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that
Yeah.
journal now. I don't know how I didn't know that it was coming out. Have
Well,
you?
I haven't like announced it, only
Oh,
verbally.
okay, cool. It's like an exclusive. But okay, I'm super excited about that. I have like the full moon and the new moon phases in my bullet journal for the
Nice.
for the day. Um okay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna end. Fuck, the weed is like hitting me. Okay, I'm gonna end it, but you don't have to like hang up. I'm just gonna end the recording. And then, oh, I was gonna thank you for being on the show, and thank you for putting up with stupid Zoom. I don't know why Zoom's restricting me now. They're haters. They're haters. But yeah, thank you, Drey. I'm gonna end the recording. Okay, bye. Oh wait, no, don't end that. There you go.